It's the 27th of the month. Payday was 5 days ago. Nikhil is sitting at his kitchen counter in Pune, coffee in hand, opening his banking app. He stares at the number for a moment, then closes it. Because something doesn't add up. His CTC went up by 4 lakhs this year. His rent didn't change. His EMIs didn't change. Nothing changed. And yet, the balance looks exactly like it did last March. Exactly. How is that possible?
Hi, I'm Vivaan.
On this channel, I look at one specific thing: the invisible patterns in how salaried Indians experience money in 2026. Not tips, not advice, not stop buying coffee. Just careful observation. If that kind of thinking interests you, hit subscribe. We post twice a day. Now, today, I want to show you something that happens quietly to almost every consultant, analyst and manager who crosses a certain salary threshold in cities like Pune, Bangalore and Mumbai. It doesn't feel like a problem when it's happening. That's exactly what makes it worth looking at. Meet Nikhil and Manish, both 31. Both live in Pune's Baina-Pashan corridor. Both joined the same mid-sized consulting firm 4 years ago as analysts fresh out of MBA programs, one from Symbiosis, one from PU MBA. Both got promoted to senior consultant last year. Nikhil now earns 32 lakhs a year. Manish earns 31 lakhs. The gap between them is essentially nothing. Here's what's interesting. Ask either of them if they feel financially secure, and you'll get an almost identical pause before the answer. A pause that's longer than it should be for people earning what they earn. Manish actually laughed when I put the question to him, and then stopped laughing. He said, "Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm always just about to feel secure, like it's one raise away." 1 raise away. He's been saying that since he was earning 18 lakhs. Nikhil didn't laugh. He just said, "The math never works out the way I expect it to." The math never works out. Both of them are smart people. Both of them understand finance better than most. They build models for clients. They advise businesses on cost efficiency.
And yet, when it comes to their own money,
something keeps slipping. Today we're going to figure out exactly what that something is. Because it has a name, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. 4 years ago, when Nikhil first moved to Pune for this job, he was earning 18 lakhs. He found a 2-bedroom flat in Wakad, 12,000 a month. Shared with a college friend. Simple kitchen. Loud ceiling fan. Took an auto to work most days. He remembers feeling light, like the money was actually his. The first time he crossed 22 lakhs, something shifted. Not dramatically, just quietly. The flatmate moved to Bangalore. Nikhil found a new place. Slightly bigger, slightly better location. 18,000 a month. Just him. Made sense. He was earning more. He deserved some space. Then came the gym membership. 2,000 a month. Because the building didn't have one and he needed to stay healthy. Completely reasonable. Then Zomato Pro. Because he was ordering anyway and the discount made financial sense. Then the cab subscription. Because autos in Baina are unreliable after 9 p.m. and client calls sometimes run late. Each upgrade, logical. Each one, affordable. Each one, a response to a real need. Now pause for a second. Because this is where most people stop looking. They see the upgrade. They see the reason. They feel good about the decision. What they don't see is the pattern. Nikhil's expenses didn't jump in 1 month. They crept, slowly, steadily, over 4 years. And here's the number that surprised even him. When I asked Nikhil to calculate the difference between his monthly fixed costs at 18 lakhs versus his monthly fixed costs today, the gap was 31,200 rupees per month. 31,200. Every month, automatically, before he makes a single discretionary choice. That's 3,74,000 a year, just in the base cost of being him. His salary grew by 14 lakhs over 4 years. His fixed costs grew by nearly 4 lakhs a year just to keep up with who he'd become. The gap between income growth and lifestyle growth narrower than he thought. Manish's version of this story has one extra layer. He didn't just upgrade his life to be comfortable. He upgraded his life to match the people around him. This sounds similar. It isn't. When you upgrade for comfort, you stop when you're comfortable. When you upgrade to match, you never stop, because the people around you keep moving. Manish's consulting team includes a few people who've been in the industry longer. Senior managers, partners, people who fly business on client trips, who stay in the kind of hotels where checkout involves someone carrying your bag. Manish doesn't fly business. He doesn't stay at those hotels. But he does eat at the same restaurants when the team goes out. He does wear the kind of clothes that don't look out of place at those lunches. He does take the premium cab option when there are clients in the car, because it signals something. None of this is pretending. It's not fraud. It's a very rational response to the environment he's in. But here's what it costs. Manish tracked his professional presentation expenses last quarter. Clothes, grooming, client meals where he paid his share work, travel add-ons, the laptop bag that looked right for the room he was sitting in. 47,000 rupees in 1 quarter. That's almost 16,000 a month. On looking like he belongs in a room he technically already belongs in. He hadn't noticed. He'd never added it up before. When I showed him the number, his expression didn't change for a few seconds. Then he said, "That's more than my first month's salary." Here's the part that neither Nikhil nor Manish expected. Their spending didn't just grow with their salary, it grew before their salary. There's a pattern researchers have documented in salaried professionals. When people learn they're getting a raise or expect a promotion, their spending often adjusts upward before the money arrives. Nikhil bought his air fryer 2 weeks before his increment letter came. He knew it was coming. It felt like his money already. Manish booked a trip to Coorg for his parents the same weekend he found out he was being considered for senior consultant. He hadn't been confirmed yet, but he felt it. The brain doesn't wait, and this matters because it means the adjustment isn't just responding to money you have, it's responding to a version of yourself you expect to become. Once you've mentally stepped into that version, stepping back feels like regression, not like saving, like going backwards. And no one wants to feel like they're going backwards. Both Nikhil and Manish do something almost everyone does. They compare their current life to their own past. I'm doing so much better than when I started. This is true. And it's also the thing that makes the pattern invisible. Because when your reference point is your 23-year-old self earning 18 lakhs in a shared flat, your current life always looks like progress. But progress toward what? That's the question neither of them had really asked. Progress toward comfort. Or progress toward a lifestyle that costs slightly more than it should every single month indefinitely. There's a difference. And it lives in the gap between what you earn and what you actually keep. Nikhil earns 32 lakhs. After tax, roughly 22 to 23 lakhs hits his account per year. His fixed costs, as we saw, are up by nearly 4 lakhs annually just in the last 4 years. He has 2 EMIs, one for a laptop that he's upgraded twice, one for a watch he bought during a sale that was genuinely a good deal. He has subscriptions he doesn't check. He has a SIP he started and paused, and restarted at a lower amount. At the end of last year, after all of it, he had saved 6,400 rupees more than the year before. 6,400 on a 14 lakh raise. He knows the number. He's embarrassed by it. He shouldn't be, because this is not about discipline. It's about a system that consumes income the moment it arrives, not through waste, but through perfectly reasonable, individually defensible decisions that compound into a very strange trap. 3 months ago, Nikhil did something small. He went through his last 6 months of UPI statements. Not to budget, not to feel guilty, just to look. He printed nothing, he made no spreadsheet, he just scrolled. And he noticed one category that kept appearing. Not food, not rent, not transport. Convenience. Every time something was slightly inconvenient, he paid to remove that inconvenience. Cab instead of auto 47 times in 6 months. Quick commerce instead of planning ahead 22 times. Premium add-ons on apps he already subscribed to 11 times. None of these were wrong decisions in the moment. Every single one was rational. But together, they cost him 62,000 rupees in 6 months. On convenience. Not experience, not memory, not something he could point to and say that was worth it. Just the absence of mild discomfort. He's not going to stop all of it. He doesn't want to. He earns 32 lakhs. He should be able to pay for convenience. But he changed one thing. He started asking one question before the convenience purchase. Not, can I afford this? But, will I remember this tomorrow? That's it. 4 words. Will I remember this tomorrow? It doesn't stop every purchase. It's not supposed to. But it slows down the automatic ones. The ones that happen because it's easier to pay than to think. Those ones have started to reduce. So here's what I want to leave you with. Nikhil and Manish are not cautionary tales. They're not people who made bad decisions. They made normal decisions, sensible ones. The thing that caught them is not recklessness. It's the gap between two very different kinds of growth. Income growth is visible. You see the number change, you celebrate it. Lifestyle growth is invisible. It happens in the background, one small upgrade at a time, until the math stops working, and you don't know why. The problem isn't that you spend money. The problem is that the system is calibrated to make spending feel like the natural response to earning. And it is, in many ways. But spending and keeping are two different skills. And most salaried Indians in their 30s are only being asked to develop one of them. If you're in Nikhil's situation right now, the question isn't what should I cut? The question is, what's actually growing in my life and what's just getting more expensive? That's a different question, and it tends to give a different answer. Before you go, I want to ask you something genuinely, and I want you to answer it in the comments without overthinking. Right now, today, are you more like Nikhil or more like Manish? Nikhil is the one where the lifestyle grew quietly and he's only just starting to see it. Manish is the one where the environment is doing the spending for him. Or maybe you're both at the same time. Drop it in the comments. Are you Nikhil, Manish, or both? I'll be reading for the first 48 hours and I'll pin some of the most honest ones. If someone in your life is earning well and still feels stuck by the 25th of every month, share this with them, not as advice, just as something to look at together. This Friday, we're looking at something that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. We're going to calculate what a 30 lakh salary actually becomes after taxes, after EM, is after the invisible costs that most people never add up. The number is smaller than you think, and it explains a lot. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm Vivaan. See you Friday. Quick note before you go. This video is behavioral observation only, not financial advice. Nikhil and Manish are illustrative composite characters, not real individuals. For decisions about your personal finances, please consult a SEBI registered investment advisor. Thanks for watching.